Hello! The Quebec International team has prepared this tutorial to guide you in the use of our Quebec First online application platform so that you can submit a good application and increase your chances of being called for an interview. Before you start, take note of this very important information. We do not process any application sent by email or via social networks. The only way to apply is to apply via Mon Compte Québec en Tête. Without further ado, let's get to the tutorial. First, go to quebecentet.com. We suggest that you use the most recent version of the browser, Chrome, Edge, Firefox, or Safari. Click on Mon Compte Québec en Tête at the top. You are now on the application platform. If you are a new user, you must click on Create an Account. Take the time to properly complete the first name, last name, email address, and password sections. Your password must contain a minimum of 10 characters, including at least one number, one uppercase letter, one lowercase letter, and one special character. Next, you need to confirm your password and click Submit. A "You need to activate your account" message will appear. Now go to your email inbox and click on the link sent to you to activate your account. If you made a mistake in your email address, simply repeat the previous step with the correct address. If you do not receive a validation email, check your spam folder. Back on the application platform, enter the email address and password you used to create an account and click Continue. If you forgot your password, it doesn't matter. You can simply enter your email address and click on Forgot Password. You are now in your Québec en Tête account, and it is in this section that you can consult the available job offers. To facilitate your search, you can use the filters on your left. You can thus select the places where the interviews will take place, the fields that interest you, the level of education and professional experience required, as well as the level of knowledge of French and English required for the position. On this page, you will see job titles, as well as the name and logo of the companies seeking to fill this position. Select a job offer to view it. For this tutorial, we will take as an example the position of Java developer at GFT Technologies Canada. You are now on the description of the job offer. On this page, you can consult the annual salary. Note that companies can also choose to publish the salary in hourly rate, the number of hours worked per week, and the field of employment. You will also find a complete description of the position, the technical skills that are sought by the employer, the main functions, the level of language required, the level of studies, and the level of experience necessary to occupy this position. Back at the top of the page, you have in the right section important information, such as the deadline to apply, as well as the dates and place of the interviews. Here you will find the name of the employer. We invite you to learn more about the company by clicking on this link, where you will find additional information about the employer, as well as a link to its website. Finally, the platform will offer you some job offers similar to the ones you are viewing. If, after carefully reading the job description, you find that your professional profile meets the requirements, you can click on the button Apply. You can complete your profile via the Apply button on the job offer, as we have just done. Or you can choose to complete your profile first via the home page by clicking on your name at the bottom, then Profile. Regardless of the path chosen, to apply for a job offer, you must complete your entire profile. It is very important to fill out your profile correctly and in French, since it will be used as a CV for the companies during the selection. You will need to complete your general information as well as your worker profile, all in French. It is not mandatory to complete your profile in English. It is optional. Also, if you're applying for a job offer, there is no need to complete the student profile section, so this can be skipped. Let's start with the general information section. It is possible to include a profile photo, although it is not mandatory. For your profile picture, you can use JPEG or PNG format files only. You must complete the information that appears on this page: your first name, last name, nationality, your current country of residence, and your city of residence. You have the opportunity to write a short presentation to give employers a better idea of who you are. We recommend that you go to the essentials. It is recommended not to use the copy-paste mode from your CV to complete your profile, since this command is not supported by the application. You can click the update button at any time to save your work. Let's move to the contact information section. Your email is already pre-registered. You can add the link to your LinkedIn profile if you have one. You must provide a telephone number where we can reach you, as well as a mobile number. You must first select the country and then enter the number. Now let's move on to the immigration section. In the first question, we ask you to explain in a few words your project of immigration to Quebec. Here are some answers to inspire you. For example, you could explain what motivates you to come and work in Quebec. Would you like to gain international work experience, develop your career in a stimulating working environment? You could also choose to tell us about your French learning. Are you taking courses in order to carry out your project of immigration to Quebec? When did you start? These are a few examples. Personalize your answer according to your situation and motivations. Let's continue with the other questions in the immigration section. Do you have a valid passport? Have you ever traveled outside your country? Have you ever traveled to Canada? Do you have family in Canada? Have you ever been refused a visa application to enter Canada? Have you ever committed, been arrested, charged with, or convicted of any criminal offense in any country or territory? Have you ever been refused entry or asked to leave Canada or any other country or territory? Let's continue with the language section. As you know, French is the official language of Quebec. You must therefore indicate here the level of French you have. If you speak English, please also indicate your level. Here are some indications to help you identify the level that you might have in French. The beginner level corresponds to an elementary user who is able to use simple formulations to present themselves, to understand, and to discuss simple, everyday information. The person who has an intermediate level is able to understand the main lines of a conversation, to recount experiences, develop a point of view, and to write a more complex test. Finally, the person who has an advanced level is able to hold a conversation without difficulty and can express themselves spontaneously. The person is also able to communicate fluently. Keep in mind that interviews for candidates with an intermediate or advanced level of French are usually conducted in French. If you choose to indicate an intermediate level, you must therefore be able to conduct your interview entirely in French. The last section, Relevant Links, allows you to add a link to an external web page like Google Drive or Dropbox. For example, you could include a link to your resume or to your portfolio, which could be relevant to show images of your achievements. Be aware, however, that it is the information entered in your profile that is taken into account to evaluate your suitability for a position. In other words, employers will primarily assess what is shown in your profile and not external links. The general information section is completed. We are now going to complete the second and last mandatory section to apply for a job offer. that of the worker profile. Let's start with skills. First, please indicate your field of professional activity from the list of available choices. For our example, we will indicate sciences and IT. We will now add keywords that correspond to our technical skills. This may be, for example, the type of software used, the type of welding performed, or the type of machinery on which you have experience as an operator. You can choose keywords from the choices available in the list or create your own keywords. These keywords should not be long sentences. A few words would be more appropriate. Make sure your technical skills match the job requirements. To inspire you, it is possible to revisit the job offer of your interest and see which skills are mentioned by the employer. Let's go back to our Java developer job offer. The employer said Java development, so I will use those same words in my skills section. I will also add .NET skills. I look at the options available. I choose to select the keyword knowledge of .NET technologies, which already exists. Now let's move on to the professional experience section. First, indicate your level of professional experience. For example, junior, up to 2 years of experience, intermediate, between 2 and 9 years, and senior, more than 9 years. Then click on Add Work Experience. This part is very important. Take the time to fill it out. Start with your most recent work experience. Indicate the title of the position you held or currently hold. Then enter the name of your employer, place of work, start date and end date. If you are still employed, check the box. The next step is to list the tasks and responsibilities you had in your job. It's time to show employers that you have the experience they are looking for the position. Take the time necessary to properly document this section, in French of course, with detailed, clear and precise information. In order to apply for a position of Java developer, we will indicate: carry out the design, maintenance and improvement of software, identify and solve technical problems, write reports for program use and maintenance. We remind you that you must avoid using the copy-paste function at all times. You can add as many professional experiences as you want. However, we advise you to focus on experiences that are related to the field of activity in which you are applying. Now let's move on to the education section. Click on Add Training. Start with your most recent education. Complete each of the questions, including the name of the establishment and the level of the diploma. For example, here, our candidate has completed a license in his country of origin. He mentions that it is the equivalent of the Québec undergraduate degree. On the Québec en Tête website, in the Study in Québec section, you will find tables that compare the Québec school system with those of several countries around the world. Do not hesitate to use these tools that are at your disposal. Let's continue with the field of study, in our case computer science. It is possible to add details if necessary. We will indicate specialization in software engineering. We complete with the start of the date of the training and the date of graduation. If you have other degrees, just add training and repeat the steps. We have arrived at the last section, immigration. If you have a CSQ, Certificat de Sélection du Québec, select yes. If not, indicate no. Note that it's not necessary to have immigration status in Canada to apply. If you pass the selection process and receive a job offer, your future employer will support you in the process of obtaining a temporary work permit. Click Update. Our profile is now complete. We will return to the job offer that interests us and click on Apply. The platform will first ask you if you are available for the interview. Be careful. Interviews can take place online, but also face-to-face. Indeed, it is possible that a delegation of Quebec companies will travel to a foreign country to meet potential candidates. If your profile is not 100% complete, a section will appear here with the points you need to complete before you can continue. You have the possibility to review your profile to check that everything is in order. If needed, you can click Edit Profile. The Choice of Offer section allows you to express your interest in another position offered by the company. The Québec en Tête platform allows you to apply to several companies, but only for one position per company. By clicking here, you will see all the job opportunities offered by the company. In this case, the company offers the position of functional analyst, in addition to that of Java developer. Let's imagine that our candidate also has the necessary training and experience for the position of functional analyst. He could therefore indicate that his main interest is for the position of Java developer here, and at the same time express his interest in the position of functional analyst by selecting it here. You can now click Submit. We have applied for the job offer that interests us, and we have confirmation through this message. To track the status of your applications, you can visit the left section under the Application and Interview tab. Here, you will see the status of all the applications you have made. For the moment, the status is Application Sent. This status will change over the days, possibly changing to Called for an interview if you have been selected, or not selected for the moment if the company has not selected you in your application. Note that selected candidates will be contacted by email to choose a time slot for their job interview. Before concluding this tutorial, we would like to remind you of some useful tips. First of all, apply only to offers for which you have the training, experience, and level of French required. Second element, regardless of the language level required by the position for which you're applying, complete your profile entirely in French. Finally, in the work experience section, document in detail your responsibilities for each of your past experiences that are relevant to the job opening you're applying for. Companies will carefully analyze this section to determine if you have the experience and skills they're looking for. This concludes our tutorial. We hope that the information shared has been useful to you. If you have any questions, you can write to us at ed@moncompte.quebecentet.com. Thank you for your attention and good luck to all.